Gotta turn the cogs, program myself into the mode of speaking where I can just say stuff. We're all just products of our environment. We are all just saying and doing things because we have learned them or because of the situation that we find ourselves in, the environment around us. The reason why long-haired hippies like me can exist and pontificate about shit. It's a bit of biology, it's a bit of chemistry, but it's also a bit of, finding yourself in a position of privilege, one where you can think about things like that. What are we talking about? I don't know. What's the topic for today? What are we trying to do? We're trying to chill out, we're trying to zone out, but we're trying to talk about topics. I'm hearing you, I'm reading your comments, I'm seeing things, I'm talking to you. It's great. I like it. Getting ideas. Sometimes the reason why you are maybe thinking about the things that you're thinking about is because of the environment around you and the circumstances that have led you to think the way that you think. Reaction and action happening simultaneously, I guess. I feel like I just naturally sort of work about 1 or 2 months behind the comments. I don't totally buy into the whole like determinism thing. Everything is determined to happen in a certain way because that sort of it kind of says that there's fate. That just fits into the model of time being linear. Is this interesting? Is this interesting? Is this video even interesting? That's the thing. That's what I've got to ask myself. No, it's not. Most people have to live their lives struggling to get food on the table. Luckily, I'm not finding myself in that position yet. Who knows what's going to happen with this COVID shit? We might all be in Apocalypseville soon. We'll see. Had a really funny comment once, a while back on a random video that I posted ages ago that was just like, love the visuals, didn't like the talking though, can you make a slower tutorial? The voice was distracting, and I was like, what? It's not a tutorial, I could just chop this around so nothing makes sense. I think Mitchell Davis did that once. It was quite a funny video. He was good. To be honest, I will say that one of my main sort of YouTuber vlog style sort of inspirations has got to be Mitchell Davis. He's just good, just great, interesting, fascinating, different. You watch it and you enjoy. You either get it or you don't. It's just a time lapse. But I wasn't talking about how I'm making this. This ain't no tutorial. He hasn't become the biggest of the biggest names, but the people who have become the biggest of the big are normally shit. Just saying. But why was I talking about that? Why was I saying those things? It was like trying to come off as a compliment. Don't worry, I know lots of the time the comments, you think that you are socially conscious, but you kind of a little bit not, and that's fine. I could deal with any comment under the sun, mate. You can comment away, say whatever you want. I think if you're consistently thinking about things, or like no matter what it is, like this is just one example, me and my philosophizing. If you're thinking about whatever you're thinking about, you're worried about certain things, you're constantly thinking and thinking and thinking about stuff, I think it's good to remember that you are not your thoughts. If you think enough, you'll realize that a thought will appear in your head that will say, oh yeah, I'm thinking. The thoughts are separate from the thinker. What is the topic for today? You cannot have one without the other. I can't be in a void. I can't exist in a vacuum. Neither can you. And therefore the environment cannot exist without you. This is kind of, as well as explaining sort of different social and cultural differences between people and individuals and their lives and why they think differently and do things differently. It's also a good way of helping everyone in general realize that everything is connected. We are all just this one thing happening. Can't be a you without me, there can't be a me without you. There's no such thing as self without other, space without the stuff between the spaces. Am I right? I'm just rehashing things I've learned. I'm rehashing thoughts that I enjoy. I'm just going through them in my head and just pouring them out to you. I hope you enjoy. I don't know why you would though. This is getting weird. This is getting strange. I don't know where this video's going. All this was that I wanted to eventually start talking about a piece of pixel art that I really enjoyed. I've done some really good art recently, okay? I've done some good art. I'm really satisfied with the art that I've been doing, as well as just being really down and stressed out about the idea of going back to my part-time job, the idea of going back to work while this is still going on. Like, I'm desperately trying to postpone it, not because I don't want to go back, but because I feel like we shouldn't. It feels unsafe to go back. But apart from doing that and worrying about that and trying to fill my time and having a crazy sleep schedule where I'm just staying up late and waking up late, I've actually been doing some really good drawings and some really nice art that I'm really pleased with. Basically, this is heavily inspired by Hyperlight Drifter. Every time I've done a bit of pixel art, someone has said, oh, it reminds me of Hyperlight Drifter. Your style looks like Hyperlight Drifter. And I would say to that, thank you very much, because Hyperlight Drifter is incredible. I graciously accept that comparison. I can see what you mean, but also at the same time, I feel like I haven't fully ever done a proper Hyperlight Drifter piece of art, maybe, until now. So this has got lots of bright blues and greens and pinks and purples. And it's pretty funky. I sort of made some sort of weird skeletal demon giant thing. And then designed a sort of kind of like Naruto-y version of the Hyperlight Drifter guy, but with a spear instead of a sword. Thought it looked pretty rad. And I just did some like little bits of architecture, trees, valleys, and like waterfalls coming down. And then I just do some nice lighting. I put some blur effects on the mist, just to add a bit of depth. And I think it works well. I'm pleased with it. I think it looks pretty good. What do you think? Thank you. A friend of mine recently, someone that I went to uni with recently told me that he found my YouTube channel that I try and sort of keep hidden. I don't really spread the word about it to people I know. He said he saw it and he appreciated it. He liked it. He liked the way that I'm speaking, and he thinks that I am not just the usual YouTuber bullshit. But at the same time, how do these art channels do this? It's strange. I really don't enjoy watching things like haul videos or like studio tours or like things where it's just like, hi, I'm an artist, but all my video is just not art. I personally just can't see that working. It would be great to see more visual art out there, and there's not just tutorials. I know it's weird because this is a video platform, so I get it. But I don't know. I don't have the answers. Where are you coming for me? In general, I've just been thinking recently as well. You know, sometimes I go a bit ranty. Sometimes I say crazy, wild things, you know. And I guess that's all right, showing a bit of myself. And hopefully you can relate, or maybe you don't relate, but you find it interesting anyway. But I've also been thinking that in general, my main like beliefs, outlooks on life, I don't know, is from that idea of tread lightly. You know, you got to be flexible. You got to sort of go with the flow. And that I think that's important. What have I been rambling about? What have I been saying? This has gone on for long enough. I feel like maybe this is going to be quite a long rambly video, so at the very least that means that this drawing will be slowed down slightly so you can see more of the detail. Maybe I could mention some, like, here you go, here's some tutorial stuff. Lighting, flare, use the gradient tool to create lighting effects. Use a little circular gradient tool, get a color, bosh, pop it on a layer, and then do overlay. Now you got a nice glow. You want to do some random textured effects like the water splashes? Well, stop using that pixel tool, the pencil tool, and get a sort of splatter brush and just pop that on and then blur it. It doesn't matter that it's not pixels, it still looks like pixel art. That was another funny comment that I had. Really nice animation, but I don't think it's pixel art. I would say it's more like lo-fi blah blah blah. And I was like, mate, you can see the pixel. I didn't comment on it because I was like, that's bullshit. Look, pixel art is whatever you want to make it. Just because there's rules about the original pixel art, when the whole concept of it was that they didn't have very many colors, so they just used like, it was like a one color background and then black pixels on the top, doesn't mean that there are now rules that pixel art has to look a certain way. In my mind, as long as you can see the pixels, it's pixel art. I feel like there's a strange subset of pixel artists, of people who maybe haven't got a arty background, but they want to make art, and for some reason they think that pixel art's an easy way to get into it. It's fair enough. I don't know. It's just a style that you're interested in, is what is I more think it is. And I've seen lots of people out there saying that they just use the mouse like to do pixel art, and I get that if you had a piece of software where it's about like placing pixels very specifically and deliberately, then yeah, sure, okay, a mouse would be good. But that to me, as like someone who draws a lot, I'm just like, what am I saying? What am I ever saying? Oh yeah, so yeah, I wanted to touch upon that. I've seen a lot of like art school. My Twitter has been recently all about like whether or not to go to art school. And I think also in America, like obviously this whole COVID situation has influenced a lot of people, and people are like dropping out and sort of thinking that, you know, it's not safe to go back. I totally get that. One thing that I can't help but feel is a lot of the people that are saying, oh, art school's a waste of time, a waste of money. Obviously, look, America's different. America seems totally wild with the prices. Obviously, I'm speaking of a place of privilege. I could go to art school, you know, art uni. I feel like there's a strange element of like bitterness about the courses, or like about what people did at uni. Maybe, I don't know really what it is. Obviously, I don't feel like my course was amazing at teaching me how to be a freelance illustrator. It helped a bit. People came in to talk to us, that was nice. But in general, it was more just about your creativity and building your creativeness, you know? So sure, again, yeah, it was a bit lacking on the business side of things. There's always that element of like, oh God, have I chosen the right course? Am I doing the right thing? Am I gonna get a job? Do I even like the subject? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, maybe that's a topic for another video. Another topic for another video is more about that business side, the client side. I'll do that, I'm sure. You know, getting clients, getting work. It's a difficult topic. I feel like I'm not fully prepared. I'm not a genius. I'm not an expert, but I'm getting by. Basically, I'm doing my best. I'm just letting you know I'm doing my best. I hope you are too. I hope this little bit of art inspired you to do some drawing and do what's important in life rather than worry about all the other shit that's going on. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this video. Who knows what, like, yeah, genuinely though, be excited for some art that I've done. I'm like really pleased with some of this art that I'm doing at the moment. I've done some cool like pixel art buildings that I really want to show. I've done some cool like portraits. Oh God, sorry. I've done some portraits in a cool like painterly style. And I just keep getting more and more ideas. I've started playing Indivisible. It's really cool, little like RPG, action RPG, with like really cool like anime art style. Things are right, I guess. Are they? I hope they are. I didn't even talk about Hyper Light Drifter. Just play it. It's a really good game. It's out on Switch. It's great. It's about like, it's got a silent narrative. It's all in images and pictures and animations. And it's just an amazing sort of adventure game where the actions and combat's great, pretty tricky. There's some great boss battles. The colors and the pixel art are incredible. It's about a person in a sort of weird like limbo world where you discover how the apocalypse happened around you, kind of. And you're battling sort of like this demon. It's really great. We're 25 minutes in. Have I said anything of any importance? I don't know. Only you can decide that. Now be on your way. Enjoy the rest of the internet. I don't know. And so I feel like it's more a sort of combination of the two. You can't really say things are determined and things are random. It's kind of just happening all at once, all at the same time. But because we're human, we can only see it as like a line. We just literally don't have the capacity to see outside of ourselves. You know? We're getting too far now. I don't know where this is going.